and welcome back to my craft room. I'm going to have a go at the Scrawlr challenge for May. The challenge was flowing figures. I think it's a bit kind of vague. Let me read what it says. In this month's box, we're encouraging you to experiment with expressing personality through watercolour. Take inspiration from the whimsy of surrealism. What colours represent the moment you're in right now? Allow your paint to flow into your figures and portraits to form your unique character traits. I'm a bit confused about what all that means. Maybe I'm really a bit thick today, I don't know. But I'm just going to do some kind of flowy watercolour portraits, hopefully. Let me go to the desk and show you what we got, in case you haven't seen it. Here's our inspiration piece for this month. So I'd love to be able to do something like that, but I think it's a bit beyond me. But here's the watercolour. So it's hot pressed watercolour paper that we got, which I quite like. That was my initial swatching. Absolutely beautiful colours. The main meat of the box was these beautiful peerless watercolour sheets. So the colour is on the pigment is on the back. You activate it with water. I did get a little bit of staining on my hands, which lasted a good couple of days. Let's put my sticker somewhere safe. So what I'm going to do this time, I want to swatch all the colours first and do a bit of blending, see what colours I can get. And I think what I'm going to do is just cut a little piece off, just a little strip like that, off of the end of each of these. And then put the rest away in the bag, so I don't think it's such a bit. And I might even stick these to a strip of the, perhaps on the back of this. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to swatch and blend all of the colours and see. I'm sure I will get a huge range of colours if I mix all of these together. So I'm going to do that, stop recording, I'll come back and show you how that looks first. Oh, and then I'm very muddly today, aren't I? Then let's come back to me. Then for what I want to do as for my portraits, I'm going to use my friend Johnny here on YouTube from Just Johnny Creations. I will leave a link to him in the description box. He's going to be my muse today. He doesn't usually show his face on camera, but he did it just for me this time. I will leave a link to the video that he did, so that I could just stop the film and do some sketches of his face straight from the screen, and just do some quick, I'm hoping just some quick kind of characterful sketches that I can then do some sort of casual flowy kind of watercolour into. That's my idea for this challenge. That's where I'm kind of hoping I'm going. So, but I'm going to do the swatching bit first, and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, so what I've done is cut a small strip of each of the pieces. I've laid them out in order. I'm just going to write down first what the names are. We got this lovely mechanical pencil as well. Let's bring it down a bit in the kit. It's really nice because you just push the button when you need a bit more lead, which is really nice. And it's got this retractable eraser as well, which is really nice. So I'm just going to write the names on there. So we've got Alice Blue. I'm already questioning myself, have I got these the right way around? Yeah. So there's no way, because the heliotrope is a purpley colour, and you'd think it was that one. You wouldn't think that was going to be turquoise and this was going to be purple. So yeah, I definitely need to label them. This one I can't pronounce. It looks like Jacqueminot red. Alizarin red. Arlie's Opera. This must be specially for Arlisha, the featured artist this month, because she put all of this together. Ecru and Neutral Tint, which I think is a bit like a Payne's Grey kind of colour if I remember. So now I'm going to put all of these out of harm's way so they won't accidentally get wet and I won't get them all over my fingers. Not too bad so far. And now I'm just gonna this is the lovely brush we got. It's quite an unusual shaped brush. I don't think I've ever seen one quite like this before. Comes to a point you can make a nice leaf shape kind of with it as well. Comes to a very fine point. Right, so I've got 2 jars of water, one for clean and one for washing off the brush. Okay, so Alice Blue. Oh. And finally the neutral, which, yeah, I kind of feel like it's almost a Payne's grey, really. There we go. Need a cloth. So that's all my colours. Now I'm going to go through and do some I'm going to swatch them all out and blend a few together and just see what kind of range of colours I can get. Oh, there's some interesting things happening by accident there, which is the kind of thing I'm hoping will happen on my portraits. Okay, so I'm really going to stop this time and I'll come back and show you when I've swatched them. Right, I've had a bit of a play. Here's all my colours laid out. That worked quite well. Oops. I still managed to get it all over my hands, but not quite as much. And at least it's only that strip that I'm using. I'm not kind of risking ruining the rest of the piece. I also did a bit of mixing and swatching with all different colours. You can get a massive range of colours. I mean, all the skin tones really that you could need. And I just had a little bit of a go with mixing them together. They kind of feel different from watercolours to me. They sort of mix and use in the same way, but they're very vibrant, the colours. And as I said, definitely wouldn't expect watercolours to stain like this. So so it is a bit different. I've washed out my jars ready because they got very messy, and my palette and my brush all ready to go. But before that, I've got to do the sketching part. So I've got Johnny's video up in front of me, and I'm just going to randomly stop it and do little sketches. I don't really enjoy working on small paper. I tend to just use it for swatching and things, but I'm going to have a go at using this. If I don't get on with it, I'll just swap to a bigger piece of paper. I don't care if it's cheating, really. I don't care. I don't care. I'm a rebel, me. Okay, so I'm going to leave this recording and but speed it through and just do some quick sketching. I think I'm going to have to work on these sketches a bit more. Sorry Johnny, they're not very flattering. He's got a really interesting face to draw actually, so I'm going to work on that a little bit more before I come back and try adding some watercolours. So I'm going to stop recording now so I can, because it does make you a little bit conscious when you know you're filming as well, and I need to focus on this, and I need to be able to turn around and do it this way as well instead of keep doing that. So that's my excuse. Oh, it's going to be fun though. He's definitely got a fun face to draw. Okay, see you in a moment. So I've spent a couple of hours doing some more sketches. So here's the ones I've done. Johnny's got a very challenging, very interesting, fun face to draw. He pulls a lot of faces, a lot of interesting expressions, and one of the interesting things is that, you know, normally you've got that kind of, you know, you think of a face with an oval and you know, the eyes are roughly halfway down, and the nose is roughly halfway between there and there, and the mouth is roughly halfway between there and there, and the hair's about there. And so with Johnny's face, I discovered it was much more square and kind of longer, and if anything I ended up starting the eyes kind of a little bit more than halfway up, and because in most of the shots he was looking slightly off to one side, I started like that, and then I did, as I do when I draw in my own face, I ended up starting with the glasses, because like it sort of gives you placement for the other features, and it starts to give you the shape of the nose. So I've drawn his face so many times now. I've drawn it without even looking. Interestingly, oh no, I'll show you in a minute when we get to it actually. My son made a very interesting point and I showed him. So his glasses are an important feature of his face, and his hair, he's got this kind of floppy fringe and stuff. And he's got quite a long, quite a square shape here and quite a long chin. So whereas like my chin is comparatively sort of narrow and pointy, his is more sort of square and it's like longer. And he pulls such a lot of faces. His mouth shapes are really challenging, really interesting challenge to draw. So yeah, I feel like I've got to know his face a bit better. I had to go at catching some of his strange expressions. This was one attempt at catching a smile that he tried to pull at the end. I think I've made him look a bit girly there. This is trying to get the sort of a mouth shape that he pulls. I didn't quite get it, but I was getting there. This is just another one of the many expressions. The ones that I've ended up deciding I'm going to have a go at adding some watercolour to are these two. And what I'm going to do is just use my kneaded eraser first to take some of this graphite off before I start adding the watercolour. And then what I think I'm going to do is go back in and define things with the pencil again afterwards, because I'm trying to only use what's in the box. Oh, and the other thing I should mention is that I did obviously end up going with this bigger paper. I just don't feel able to work on tiny paper like this. It's great for swatching or doing cards or stuff like that, but when I want to do like a proper picture, I just feel a bit cramped by it, so I'll take care of his cheating. There, so I've taken some of that graphite off. Yeah, the interesting thing my son mentioned, because I showed him some of the pictures of Johnny and said, oh, what do you think? I think he agreed with me. I haven't really captured too much of a likeness, but it was very interesting exercise to try and capture some of these different expressions. But what he mentioned is, if you go like this, it could almost be a portrait of me. Did you go like that? It's interesting, isn't it? Sorry, Johnny. We did agree we wouldn't be offended or hurt by each other's attempts at portraits, which is just as well. Okay, so next thing, I'm going to put that out of the way. So I'm hoping I won't get in so much of a mess. I've actually done my nails today because I'm going out for a party, for a Jubilee party later on. So I'm hoping I don't get too stainy. Maybe I should put gloves on. I hate wearing gloves though. Oh, let's not worry about it. And I'm not going to I'm not going to try and get anything realistic. The challenge actually said experiment with expressing personality through watercolour. Whimsy of surrealism. What colours represent the moment you're in right now? Allow the paint to flow into your figures and portraits to form your unique character traits. I'm still not quite sure what all that means, but I'm going to take it as I'm just going to let it happen. I'm not going to aim for anything realistic. I might use some of the greens, because I know green is Johnny's favourite colour, so I might lean towards those greens. And I always like a bit of pink with green, so so I think I'm going to try some wet in wet techniques and just let things really flow. Oh dear, I'm afraid to start now. This isn't going to be, they're not going to be fantastic portraits anyway, so I'm just going to try and not be too pernickety. So let's just try adding some water first. So I'm just going to keep going, and hopefully you can work out what I'm doing. I'm having fun anyway. Sorry, Johnny. That's not working. That's really not working, is it? What I'm going to do is stop recording. I'm going to let these dry. I'm going to see if I can go over with a pencil and retrieve anything. But I think they're going in the bin. Watch this space. Okay, so it's the next day. I'm not going to be beaten by this. So I've come back to have another go. Everything I did yesterday is now in the bin. Even my husband is normally very encouraging. When he saw what I'd done, he went, "Oh yeah, I see what you mean." So I have done another little sketch of Johnny, and this time what I'm going to do is just try and make myself be very random and just add some just like splodges of colour on here, let it dry, and then go back in with the pencil and add detail and see how that works out. And then on this bigger piece, I'm just going to let myself play with these colours and hopefully just end up with a kind of a colourful, fun background that I can then sketch a face onto. We'll see how that goes. So I've got my 2 jars of water again. I've got what's left of my strips. Some of them are getting a bit low on the colour now, but I think, you know, I'm just going to make that do, I think. Which one shall I do first? Probably makes sense to warm up with this one, really, doesn't it? Okay, so I think I'm going to try just spritzing the background first and just dropping some colours into it and just see. I probably ought to do what Alicia, the featured artist, suggested, which is choose a limited palette. Maybe I'll do the blues and greens for the Johnny picture, possibly with a splash of yellow, and then for this one I'll use the sort of more pinks and reds and maybe purples. We'll see. I'm just going to let it happen and just, you know, it can't be worse than yesterday. Oh dear. Okay, let's just play. I'm going pinks and oranges with this one, so let's try this Jacques Minot or whatever it's called. I'm not even going to worry about the palette. I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to play. Let's bring you down a little bit so you can see what's happening. Oh, look at that. And I'm not going to be in a hurry. I'm just going to let this kind of do its thing a little bit. I'm not even giving any consideration to the thought that I've got to find a face in this in a minute. I'm just literally just playing. Okay, it seems to have stopped moving pretty much. Let's try one or the other. Let's try the alizarin with it and see what happens. Right, I'm going to put that one aside for a minute. I'm starting to wonder if I could see a face in there. I've certainly enjoyed playing with them in the way they interact. And I definitely feel like it's not like using watercolours. Okay, let's put that somewhere. Right, I'm not going to let myself panic. I'm going to put that aside to dry and see what I can do if I go back in with pencil. I'm telling myself I can see a glimpse of Johnny's face there. I'm enjoying playing with the paints, don't get me wrong. Just because I'm a bit in it doesn't mean the paints aren't any good. I love them, but what I'm enjoying using the most is this pencil. Love it. It's partly down to the fact that it must be quite, I don't know what the lead is in there. I'm going to make myself walk away from that now, let everything completely dry, and then come back and start messing it up some more. Right, so I've left this for a good long time to completely dry, and it's buckled a little bit, not too bad. I quite like how where I did the splats over the top. I like how that background colour has kind of faded away more, but the splats over the top are really vibrant against it. I really like that effect. Anyway, so the idea was to try and sort of find a face in here somewhere and do a face kind of over it with the pencil. I mean, there's other, if I wasn't trying to use just what's in the box, I'd probably be bringing other things in by now, pens and things, but I'm kind of thinking I can see a face here, and you can almost see it more clearly on the camera, I think. So where this is one eye and this is another eye, and it's sort of not quite 3/4 turned, but going that way, and then this is kind of the outline of the face, and then all this weird hair. So that's what I'm going to go for. We'll see. I shall have a little sketch at this whilst binge watching something or other, and I'll speed through it for you. Or it'll go in the bin and you'll never see it. I haven't decided yet. Well, I think I'm giving up on that one now. You can see I cheated a bit and used a white pen. Yeah, I'm fed up with this one. Now I'm putting that to one side, and I'm gonna have one more go at retrieving Johnny's face out of this. It looks more like Elton Johnny at the moment. Well, I know people don't like it sometimes when I say things are just going to go in the bin, but I think I'm having a bad art day. And these probably will end up going in the bin. Really enjoy playing with the paints, and nothing against the paints at all. I've actually, I think, pretty much used up all the pigment that was on these strips, so that probably is going to bin as well now. Really enjoyed drawing Johnny's face. It's a very drawable, quite challenging face to draw, so I really enjoyed that. So thank you for letting me for showing your face to the camera, Johnny, so I could draw it. I'm gonna have another go. I will come back to it. I bet this was not my finest hour. I'm really disappointed. I don't know why I'm laughing, it's not funny. But it wasn't a waste of time. I learnt from it, and I did enjoy playing with the paints and all that face. I was quite happy with the sketches that I did. I was actually quite happy with. So, you know, onwards and upwards. Thanks very much for watching, if you're still here. I hope you have better luck with this challenge than I have. I don't think I can be quite bothered doing it again either. I'll do something else with the paints. I think it just isn't working for me, and it's a shame, because when I first saw it I thought, oh, portrait's lovely, love drawing faces, love these paints, but wasn't meant to be. Okay, thanks very much for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye. Oh.